Good day. So it's Sarah Felix here. And you have all heard that breakfast is the most important meal of the day, that it just magically sets you up for the day in the right way. Although I agree that this might be very true for children. If you're a kid and your only thing for the day is to just be active and play outside, then yeah, fair enough. Or if you're an athlete and you really need to fuel yourself up to workouts and stuff, fine. In that case, if you want more calories in than you're currently consuming, yeah, eating breakfast could be pretty good for you. But for most people, especially if you're a knowledge worker and your work consists of you thinking, and the better you can think, the more clearly you can think, the better your results will be. So basically, most jobs in today's world, in especially in today's Western world, or if you're a student of any sort, or you have a business where you need to make decisions and think, eating breakfast might very well be just terrible advice for you. And the reason is that when you're eating, and you're eating any kind of meal, immediately afterwards, your body will start digesting the food, which is pretty obvious. And when your body is digesting food, your body will put most of its energy to actually digesting the food. And your body gets the signal that, okay, it's time to rest and digest. And this is the reason why you after a meal can feel lethargic, you can feel that you get brain fog, especially if you eat carbs, and you usually feel a lot more slow after a meal, especially if you're eating carbs. So you know the after lunch crash you get. We have all been there. You've eaten a big meal, and after lunch, maybe half an hour in, you're just ready to go to sleep. And this is the reason why you shouldn't eat breakfast. If you're this kind of person and you're not very active during the day, by skipping breakfast and by doing intermittent fasting, you are basically allowing yourself to go longer in ketosis after the night. So you're in a fasted state. And when you're in a fasted state, your brain will automatically be a lot more sharper. And what I like to think about is our ancestors, because truly everything goes back to how we humans were living just, a few thousand years ago, because our biology hasn't changed. So if you think back to our ancestors, never in their life would they just wake up one morning and start the day off by eating, because they hadn't done the work. They hadn't been out hunting for the food, and there was no food to eat. They woke up, they were hungry, but they were energized after the night and they were ready to hunt. That's kind of the point. You should be a little bit hungry, but you should have energy to go after your work, to go out and hunt. And it's the same thing today. If you don't eat anything in the morning, first of all, it's good for body composition and fat loss. That's the one thing. But I'm just thinking about work, about mental clarity, and how much more productive you will be if you don't eat and just get straight into work. If you're learning in anything or you just need to be productive in your work, this is such an easy thing for you to do. So what I would say is that try this out. Tomorrow morning, if you have some sort of work straight up in the morning, try to not eat until lunch and try to put in your hardest work straight in the morning. If you haven't tried this before, you will immediately notice that you will just be thinking and processing stuff on a whole different level. You can't even compare yourself when you have eaten a big breakfast, especially if you've eaten carbs. If you've eaten a big breakfast of carbs that most doctors recommend you to do, this is just horrible advice for you. You will lose about 30% of your IQ points if you do this. It's really not worth it to eat if you're some sort of knowledge worker and you need to use your brain for your work. All right, if you need to eat breakfast, at least don't eat carbs. Try to eat mostly fat, some protein, because this will not affect your brain as much. If you eat a light breakfast with proteins and fat, like egg is pretty perfect. If you eat eggs to breakfast, that's pretty fine. You'll most probably be in ketosis, and you will work just normally after that. But If you start off the day by eating bread or something, man, I think you've just lost half of your day because you will not be as productive. Let's say you're hungry in the morning and you would really like to eat something, because I sometimes also feel hungry in the morning, and usually I just take electrolytes or some salt water, and that will fix it. But if you really want to have something in the morning, kind of like a breakfast, what I would recommend you to try out is actually Bulletproof coffee. And if you haven't heard of Bulletproof coffee before, it's basically you blending black coffee with butter. It might sound a little weird, but test it out. It's actually really good when you get used to it. So, if you drink coffee in the morning, of course, coffee is not strict carnivore, but if you still want to keep your coffee in the morning, drink it, of course, black. Don't add any sugar or milk into it, because this will spike your glucose levels, put you out of ketosis, and it will eventually just make you more hungry, and you will not get the benefits of ketosis. But drink it black and put in butter, because what this will do is you will get some calories from it, but you will stay in ketosis. So you will keep your sharp, clear mind without getting just lethargic and feeling down. So Bulletproof coffee, I really recommend it if you need something to kick off the day. And another thing, which is actually very interesting, which I learned about here recently, bulletproof water. And this is even more strange than bulletproof coffee, but it also works. So it's basically you boil water and then you put in butter. And the reason why this also wakes you up is because when you drink coffee, for many coffee drinkers, you know the feeling, the first taste of coffee, and you get this sort of energy right out of the gate. You feel like, yes, now I can start the day. What many people don't realize is that it's actually not the caffeine that does this, because the caffeine just kicks in 20 minutes later when you started consuming it. So the first kick of like energy you get from coffee is actually the heat. So basically, it's basically the warm water from coffee. That's actually what it heats up your body, and that makes you feel more energized. So this is the reason why, if you want to start off your day with bulletproof water instead, this will actually have the same effect as bulletproof coffee, because it will, in the same way, heat up your body. And warm water with butter, that will make you pretty satiated, make you pretty full. So if you're hungry, really try out any of these, and I think you will appreciate like the benefits that this will have. This way you can still have something in the morning, but you will first of all save time, and you will keep your mind sharp, and you will be ready to work. All right, but that's it for today. Please comment down below if you try out bulletproof coffee or bulletproof water and see how you like it. See how you like intermittent fasting as well in the morning. What I would recommend is, you know, do a little bit of fasting. Try it out, because it has a lot of health benefits, different health benefits. But personally, I don't do it for the like health side. I mostly do it just to be able to concentrate, because I work the best when I'm in a fasted state. If I'm in a fasted state and I add in some caffeine, that's a pretty sweet combo right there. Take care. Comment what you thought about this, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.